What a day yesterday was. What a night. How does that measure up, Blues fans, in your entire lifespan? How does yesterday measure up? Jesus, man. This kid, this 20-year-old striker from Fulham, has had this whole city on strings for the best part of 2 months now. And you know what? When Tom Wagner released that video last night, it sold me. I looked at my missus, I went, no, Stanfield. Oh my God, I nearly kicked my coffee table out the window. Guys, it went off in this household, and I know it went off round Birmingham. What a day, man. What a signing. There's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Let's just start with Stanfield. 7 years, reportedly 15 million, with 5 million we've had on. Some say 12, some say it's 17 and a half. It's kind of everywhere. Look, whatever the amount, Tom Wagner has put his money where his mouth is. What a guy, man. We surpassed the initial 20 million budget, and I suppose he's thinking that's worth it because with 7 years, if we sell Stansfield in the future, you get money back. Fulham also get a 20% cut of that. 20% is massive, by the way. But I get it. I think the first thing we have to really talk about is Tom Wagner. I've never felt like this as a Blues fan, and I don't want to get onto one of my motivational rants and speeches about Tom Wagner. I've never felt like this as a Blues fan. For me personally, I'm 28. I've been watching Blues for, 26 years, let's say. No, that's a lie, sorry. 22 years. Besides the Carling Cup, I've never felt like this. Which is insane. We're in League One and it's a signing, and other sets of fans will be like, what you want about he's only scored 30. We know what's just happened. We know the gravitas. No one listened to us about Bellingham. No one. Even when he went to Dortmund, no one listened. And I'm not saying he Stansfield's the next Bellingham, but we know football. We understand what we've got. We understand where this team is going now. Tom Wagner, all hail Tom Wagner. That man is the love of my life. If I was a kid in my mum's house, I'd have a picture of that man on my wall. And Craig Gardner, let's not forget Craig Gardner. These guys have grafted behind the scenes. I can only imagine the amount of time Gardner spent on his phone this summer. I can't even imagine the level of communication that's been going on throughout the club to make this happen. Look, without Stansfield, it would have been a 10 out of 10 transfer window. Without Stansfield. Stansfield for us, it was a pipe dream. It was something that was just like, lives in fantasy world. And when we got relegated, we all come to terms with he's never coming back. Not at League One. It can't happen. He wouldn't. We couldn't afford it. Tom Wagner wouldn't. And here we are. Jay Stanfield is in League One playing for Birmingham City. I watched his interview. That kid loves the Blues, He loves the Blues. And I'm so happy he feels the same way about us as we feel about him. I can't see him playing today, if I'm honest. It'd be nice if they brought him off the bench. Obviously, I'd love to see him play. I feel like he can come into any system and just smash it. I don't think he will play. We wicked if he does, though. The amount of times I refreshed my Twitter yesterday, oh my God, it was tiring. Yeah, he's going to absolutely tear it up between him and Alfie May and the other signings. Oh, but yeah. And I almost feel bad because the Japanese guy was signed from Celtic, Iwata. Let me just get his second name right. I shouldn't do this, but it's Iwata and I can never remember his second name. No, Tomoki Iwata. He's a solid player. So I've been doing some research yesterday. I've got a mate that's deep in the Villa, deep in the Celtic. Supposedly our worst enemy, if you want to paint it up like that. But he said Celtic fans are gutted with they've let him go. He's a Japanese worker, solid, proper workhorse, almost like a CDM, ball-winning midfielder. He's not the tallest guy, but he's built. He's got more build. He's about 5'10", and he's like a bit broad. looks like an absolute grafter. The type of person that we was kind of missing in this part of the field. You know, we've got the Martinez, we've got the Pakes, we've got the Thors, the creative midfielders. We didn't really have a defensive one since we got rid of Sunjic, and they've covered that part of the field. Mark Wright as well. I've seen mixed things about Scott Wright. Sorry, Mark Wright. Who's Mark Wright? I do this all the time. I'll mix another celebrity. Scott Wright. I've seen mixed things about him, if I'm honest. Not all, mostly negative, but in Chris Davies we trust. Do you know what I mean? If Chris Davies likes him, I like him. It's as simple as that. I can only imagine what he could do with him. He said he's had his eye on him for a few years. So we've got a few Celtic and Rangers lads in the mix-up, so I wonder if it's going to go off at the training ground. Can you imagine? Yeah, so, you know, I feel bad. I know I almost felt bad for them guys. That Iwata got signed a few minutes before Stansfield was revealed. And, like, no one cared. No, and I get it, no one cared because Stanfield. But, yeah, let's not gloss over how good of a signing that is. That's brilliant, by the way. And I've heard it's for 750k, which might be wrong, but that is a steal. Celtic fans are semi-gutted he's gotten him, especially for that much. So I can only imagine what we're getting. Because, you know, as much as it pains me to say Celtic are a good team, it pains me to say that, but they are really good. So I was kind of thinking about how is this formation going to work with all these players. I feel like we've got too many players. We're only allowed 11 on the pitch. Don't get me wrong. This time last season we was waiting for a Ollie Burke announcement, do you know what I mean? So I'm not moaning. But me and my dad were talking. My dad reckons he heard that it's going to be a 3-5-2 in some cases. 3 big centre-backs, 5 in midfield and Stansfield and Hogan up front. But I don't know whether Stansfield will play off the left or the right. He's so versatile. His work rate's phenomenal. In fact, him and Alfie May's work rate up front. Can you imagine being a centre-back? Oh, long. Oh, I've glossed over the fact Miyoshi's been sold, which I'm gutted about. I really did like Miyoshi. Whether he's right for this league, I don't know. You know, he scored some very important goals for us. Always grafted, always had a solid work rate. I'm sad to see him go. I get it because we're kind of full up in that position. Maybe I'd have kept him if possible, but I understand with the Japanese internationals that they want to be playing at the highest level. I do get that. So he's gone to Bochum in Germany. I saw reported 1.7. I don't know how 1.7 and 2.2. I don't know how true that is. This is the thing with these undisclosed fees. It creates more uncertainty. And I get it. It's so you can't price rock someone. But it's just annoying having to speculate so much. I know a lot of channels don't even deal with speculation. I do. Speculation's fun. You know, we speculated about Jay Stansfield. Look what happened. You can speak it into existence. That's why I see it. Look, I think the formation, there's not going to be one set formation. It's not that easy at professional level. There'll be formation changes throughout the game, off the ball and on the ball. There'll be formation changes just before the game starts. You know, it's not going to be one formation, but I guess what it's going to come out on paper, I think it's going to look more as like a 4-2-3-1 on paper. But how the wingers sit and how the mids get forward and stay back, that's all going to vary. So I don't know how good it is to be speculating on formation. I think with Chris Davies, like, he's so technical. I think it's just going to be fluid. He's going to be looking for that total football in it. Total football. Check us out. Who do we think we are? Lads, who do we think we are? Twitter hates us. League One hates us. Everyone hates us. Some of our own fans can't believe it. The other ones are just giving it 10 on Twitter. I was sat there enjoying everything. I've never seen so many funny memes in my life. But it's like, who do we think we are? 2 years ago, we were scared to have a debate with someone because we were like, yeah, we're shit, we are. Blah, blah, blah. And now we're just like, new owners come in. You know what? Let's just put the roadmap out. A few years ago, we said, yo, this kid's alright, you know, Jude Bellingham, trust me, he's good. Everyone laughed at us. He's good, you know, one day, he'll be at the very top, everyone laughed at us. Okay, fair. Then a few years later, we got new owners, everyone laughed. Said, your owner's a snake oil merchant, Brought in Rooney, everyone laughed. Got relegated, everyone laughed. I've never been happier. Have you? Never been happier. With a team like that in League One, this team would push in the Championship. This team would push for playoffs in the Championship. So, just so you know, guys, whenever we drop points, if we draw or if we lose, the internet is going to come for us. Every single team in League One is licking their lips at the prospect of Blues dropping points and not going up. They're licking their lips, they're dying for it. I've seen some of the most farcical things I've ever seen in my life. Can't wait for the points deduction. Can't wait till FFP comes in. Do you know, no one, we discussed this back in my first video months ago. There's no FFP in League One. 75% of your overall revenue can be put towards players. The board's money and investment into the club is sought as revenue, and therefore you can just keep pumping money in as long as you can maintain it throughout the course when it drops from the 75%. We discussed this months ago, so don't listen to the other fans. They obviously haven't done their research, and there'll probably be a few in the comments of this video. Look, I can't say this enough. Today is a good day. I hope we get down there and decapitate Wigan. Just to put a message out to everyone, I hope we put them to the sword. I've got nothing personal against Wigan. I quite like them as a team. Proper working class club. I think they're a good team. But I hope we put them to the sword today, just as a message for everyone else. Just be like, you know what? You know, you want to give it 10, let's give it 10. Come to St Andrews. We'll see how it is. It's going to be a hell of a season this is. I can't wait. I cannot wait. The depth in our positions is a joke. Also, we let George Hall go to Walsall on loan. Ramal Donovan has gone to... He's gone somewhere on loan. Sorry, the place escapes me. They're a League One team, I'm sure they are. Sorry, it's escaped me, that is. But it's good to see us sending players. When do we send players on loan? We've been relying on our youth for how long? We've been unfair on our youth for a long time. We've brought them into games, 17-year-old lads, be like, we need you to do something in this game. You know, it's got to be so... The pressure's got to be immense. So to see us putting players... Tyler Roberts gone on loan as well. That's another one. These are really good players. In the past, we would have relied on now, we need you now. And now it's like, go away, get your experience, come back, and then we'll play you. If not, we'll sell you. It just makes sense to put these players out now because they weren't going to get the minutes. You know, Chris Davies said himself in that interview yesterday, he didn't give away a lot in that interview at all, and I was dying for him just to drop a hint. He dropped a few little hints if you listen back. He says like, well, we sold 15 and we're going to end up with about that number. And at the time, it was like 13 signings in. So I was like, that's two, this is Japanese kid. But you know, it's all speculation, isn't it? But that's what makes it fun. Look guys, I'm going to let you go because I am waffling. And I did just want to get in front of the camera and talk about Stanfield and get you all in the comments and we can all have a conversation. That's all I wanted. I'll see you down the game today. Where am I sat today? T7. So if he's around T7, I'll see you. But I'll probably see you in and around the ground anyway. Come say hello, man. I'll see you down there. Keep right on. It's a great season, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Get on the channel. We've got a great season ahead of us and I can't wait to experience it with you. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you soon.